Yo, can you hear me?
I can hear you loud and clear.
How are you, bro?
I'm doing good.
What's up, bro? How's the Sunday going?
Sunday,
Good.
pretty good. Yeah, not that good. I mean, like
You just started.
having a lazy day.
You just started your day.
No, I had my breakfast and
So,
yeah, yeah.
so what I'm thinking if I can probably do some introduction before we get to the actual, purpose behind this. Should I do that, or
Sure,
should
sure.
I simply
Yes,
kick it
yes, yes, please. No, no, yes, please, you do it.
Okay, there's nothing in plan, so I'm just gonna be really random. So, okay, guys. So, if any of you guys are watching this, so this is one of those things that we've decided to sort of take forward in towards the channel. This way, I think आप लोगों को basically एक raw footage मिलेगा और हम फिटनेस के अलावा जो चीज़ें हैं हम उन सबके बारे में हम बात कर पाएंगे और हम उन सबको कवर कर पाएंगे. So I think um, in order to really grow outside as well, we need to sort of get into our minds and know certain things a certain way. Okay, so I'm just gonna leave it at that because there's no one particular thing that I actually want to introduce myself towards. But anyway, so the point is I have Malam on my side. Okay, so on the other side, so he's in India right now, so that's why we are doing it Zoom. So we've decided to sort of so he's just gonna pitch me like one question or whatever it is, which I probably have no idea about where it's gonna go. Excuse me. And we are gonna see how it goes, and I will try to sort of um, help him out or help you guys out through his question. Okay, so why him is because we all have questions, okay, like that, and I've probably pretty much have a lot of questions all the time. And if you're willing to ask questions, you will eventually get further because it's like those people who don't ask questions are usually standing in their own way when it comes to becoming successful or creating the life you want. Forget about success for a while, but even if you want as simple and as basic as possible that I can say is to be happy or be peaceful or those kind of things. If you're not able to um, ask certain questions, if not to someone, at least to yourself, it's very difficult to find those answers and to sort of get clarity over certain things. Okay, so we're going to keep it as simple as we can because you guys know me, I like things to be as simple as possible. So hit it. Let's go. Let's see how we can kickstart this and keep it rolling. Let's go.
Yeah. So AB, since I'm in India and I came back to India and I started doing a job because there was no other option for me.
Yeah.
So there's this in India, we all Indians are very hardworking. Wherever we go in abroad, also even in Dubai, there are people who work overtime and they work tirelessly just because they know that they will be getting paid at the end of the month. So this overworking, you remember, I had shared this status on WhatsApp that overworking it shouldn't be applauded because nowadays people take this overworking way too seriously and they take it ahead. When they are working, let's say there's a person who is overworking way too hard, so they expect others also, their peers, their colleagues, their everybody else around them also to work in, let's say, and also during the weekend. So what I mean, like, what is the outcome? How can we I mean tackle this in some sort of way? I mean, like, even to um कि एक्सरसाइज भी करे, फैमिली के साथ टाइम स्पेंड भी करे, फ्रेंड्स के साथ बाहर जाए, एंड ऑल ऑफ दिस in our lives while we are working for the in the jobs what we are doing.
Whoa. Basically, in other words, you're asking me how to live life. There's no one way, but overworking, man. Um, okay, so मैं कोशिश करूँगा कि मैं इसको फिटनेस के साथ थोड़ा बहुत रिलेट कर पाऊँ ताकि हम एक्चुअली एक broad, we can have a broader picture as well. And then what we'll do is we'll take a certain aspect, because fitness teaches us a lot which we sometimes overlook. हम जिम में जाते तो हैं लेकिन कभी कभी हम बॉडी के अलावा माइंड को ध्यान नहीं देते हैं. और ये मेरे साथ भी हुआ है. जब बहुत फिजिक ओरिएंटेड आप रहते हो, हम we tend to forget what actually we can learn, or what potential fitness has to teach you when it comes to your mind and overall you. Okay, instead of just focusing on the physique aspect, there is a physique aspect which is not wrong, I'm not saying that, but there's also a mental aspect to it. So I think that needs to be more highlighted and sort of covered up in order to actually fulfill fitness even further. Um, but anyways, so overworking, I will try to connect to fitness. So when it comes to overworking, when we see fitness, we look at people talking about overtraining, right? Correct. So we talk about
Yeah.
overtraining most of the time. So don't overtrain. Don't go to the point where your body is sort of not able to take it, or you're overtraining. Right now, we have to understand that overtraining only exists if you allow it to exist. Okay. So, for example, what's for me a normal training, for you it might be overtraining, right?
Yeah.
So you have to understand that much first. It's so basic, right? It's so simple. It's not that just because you are working, let's say, let's say if I'm working out for 2 hours a day. Now I'm not doing a 45-minute session. I'm not doing an hour, 60-minute session. I'm doing a 2-hour session, right? So that for some people will become overtraining, right? But
Right.
once you are able to do that, you're able to work out for, like, say, 2 hours, then that stops becoming overtraining now, because you know how to do it a certain manner and all of that, right? So what's overtraining for me will be different for you. So what's overworking for you will be literally normal work for someone else. So it depends,
Oh,
or depends on who you are and what you do. So one of those fundamentals I feel, मुझे लगता है कि ये होता है कि अगर मैं कुछ काम करता हूँ फॉर एग्जांपल, और मैं उसको completely enjoy नहीं करता हूँ. I'm doing it just for the sake of doing it. There are a lot of people who
correct.
go to the gym just for the sake of going to the gym and maybe getting in a 20-minute workout, and then you'll see, even in those 20 minutes, they are like so tired and not happy with whatever the heck they're trying to do over there. The whole point is to maximize those 20 minutes and to do it like those are the best 20 minutes of your life, kind of that mentality. So I feel overworking can only come in place जब आप कुछ ऐसी चीज करते हैं जो आपका जो मन नहीं करना चाहता. बहुत ही सिंपल है,
I
you know.
mean, that is there, but since COVID-19, everybody is working from
Yeah,
home now. So
yeah.
everybody is expected. I don't know about other countries, but in India, mostly, it is expected by a lot of people, a lot of companies, that since you are at home, you don't have any other work to do. Uh, like, please work for some more hours. The pay is the same. You're not getting any paid more than the overtime what you usually. In other countries, there is a law to overpay, I mean, like, for the overtime and all. But in India, it's all the same. So this thing has become an habit of others also in the past 7 8 months, 6 months, or how many ever. months in the lockdown is that because everybody has internet in their house, everybody has a proper running thing, and everybody is just sitting idle and doing nothing basically. So this thing has come into place in so much full speed that कि नहीं यार वो कर रहा है ना तो तुम भी करो. So this expectation has increased so vastly. I mean, it has, like, everybody by the pressure and like हाँ ठीक है करना ही पड़े. In this all between the Saturday Sundays also, because I myself was very much doing the Saturday Sunday thing. I was working on Saturdays also and Sundays also because there was a lot of pressure from the upper people of my company. I had no other choice just because I have to um, run this house. So that huge thing was there. So this is where people are getting caught up, and I think so everybody's getting frustrated for this also, don't you think?
Yeah, when it comes to the circumstances that we are all into, there can be situations like that where you feel of that sort. But okay, so what are the other options that you can have is probably what I would start thinking about if I was you, you know. Sometimes it's like when you're training, you know, why I'm coming to this, because this way probably we can get somewhere towards that answer. Okay, so just bear with me. If you guys don't train, it's fine. Just bear with us, okay? Because eventually I will obviously come to this direction as well. We will sort of leave fitness behind, but to begin with, I want to sort of connect through the here. Okay. So when you do your fitness, okay, so let's say um, if you're sort of at a point where you're just getting started, you know, now this what you're talking is something that I can't really give you a exact reply to, because obviously it's your work. Okay, I can't be like, okay, if you don't want to do leave your job. I can't do that because it doesn't make sense.
Right,
It's not correct, right? um, uh, because everyone has bills to pay. You have to do certain amount of activity in order to generate certain amount of income so that you can live a bit more peaceful life. uh,
right,
but at the end of the day, what we can do is improve ourselves so that we don't um, um, get caught up in all of the stress that comes in with all the responsibilities we have in to take. Okay, responsibilities, if you're gonna run off, run away from them, it's just gonna bite you later on. It's as simple as that, you know.
right,
So the wise thing to do is not here to say I can't do it, I'm just gonna leave. The wise thing is to see how can you do it while still being the best version of you. All right, so that's more wiser thing to sort of go after. Now that might not be possible every time, okay, because sometimes again, if you're an employee, you are working under someone, you have a company over, and they have certain targets. So the best thing is to understand how can you contribute towards that company's goal, right? Because that way you will stress yourself less and eventually produce results and work with a smile on your face, right? It might
right,
seem a bit complicated, but let's go towards fitness and let me make you understand what I'm talking about. So when I started off, okay, because I think I can give you that example. So when I started off, I was obese and all of that, and what happens is when you start, and even when you are at maybe like say 2 year into a fitness journey, okay, but the point is this happens, if you don't take over this will continue to happen for the rest of your life. And what happens is you start comparing yourself to other people, other individuals, and you're like, if uh, if this person is doing this much, even I have to do it. Or if this person is able to do, let's say, a handstand, even I have to do a handstand. If this person can run
right,
for, let's say, 1 hour, I want to run for an hour. But you forget that how long it has taken them to get there. You can't get anywhere within a day or a two. Sometimes it takes a longer time than we expect. It does. It's not
Right.
science. It just does.
Right.
And that's where the character comes into play, that how badly do you want it, how much you're willing to be prepared for it you know so any athlete also, if you take, man, there is so many years of practice behind them. uh, when they just win a certain fight or a gold medal into something, there's so many years of practice, practice, practice. Even if you see a businessman, man, how many years of failures that they go through in order to just get through it. There are crazy amount of failures, right? No one became successful overnight. There's that saying, but it doesn't exist. That overnight success only looks like that because you just came in today because I'm successful, right? Something of that sort.
Right.
Yesterday, when I was eating dirt, you were not here. You were not around me. You were I don't
Right.
know, with other people who are driving Ferrari. You know what I'm saying? So overworking. Um, Stop comparing yourself to other people. Number one, don't you if you focus on other people, you're always going to be in stress, because you'll always be in stress, man, because your focus needs to be in you. Your focus needs to literally, turn around and go within. It's as simple as that.
Right.
And
Right.
when you do that, when I have done that, I've seen myself calm down even more, because I know my truth. I know where I've been and what I've done, and now where I am. You understand? You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah. So constantly you are improving in towards your own self.
Exactly. So when you do
Right.
that, you don't know what other people go through. You might
Right.
be comparing with someone who has, let's say, six-pack abs, but what if that person is internally very unhappy? What are you going to do about that? So if your mind is constantly like, I want that, I want that, I want that, but in the bargain, you're going to get everything the way he feels. You're going to start feeling as well eventually once you get that, because you are inevitably going to ask for that. You know what I'm saying? Because you're continuously looking at. So the best way is to, in order for you to change what you don't like, is to be what you like. So when you start focusing on yourself, you will literally
Right.
turn the game around, not for others, for yourself.
Right.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? So eventually you will be happy even overworking, because that is what makes you happy, you know? So right now
Yeah.
I'm working for, let's say, 8 hours, and it doesn't make me happy.
Yeah.
It's not the work, man.
Right. You need to choose basically.
You have to understand,
Yeah.
it's you can literally do anything for 12 hours, and that can make you happy. So if you work on yourself, like if you go within and ask certain questions, and be more clear about what you're doing and why you're doing it, you'll understand that everyone works. It's not just you. So you
Right.
sort of need to stop being like, having like pity for yourself and all of that. But it's not even about that. It's just that if you start enjoying a little bit what you do, you will look forward to those 8 hours, that 7 hours, that 9 hours, that 10 hours. You will look forward to that kind of work, you know? So just
Right.
like when athletes want to prepare for a show or a competition, they look forward to that day. They're not scared, or they're not like, oh my God, that person might have trained for 10 hours. That's the guy the person who thinks like that is probably going to come second, because his focus is on someone else. You understand? A champion will never think what the other guy on the left or the right has done to reach here.
Right.
He's just gonna be like,
Right.
I don't care. I'm just gonna focus on me.
One. Right. Mhm.
So I think that's what I feel when it comes to overworking. Um, it only exists when I feel we are doing some things that we don't want to do. Even when it comes to something as simple as comparing ourselves with others, we don't want to really compare ourselves with anyone. Why would we do that? It's like the minute I compare myself with anyone is an insult to my own potential, you know? So now I'm only benchmarking myself to that person who I'm seeing. and I will never go ahead of them because that's my benchmark. Why would I do that? Why would I live under my own potential? Why? What if I can be better than that person? But now in my head, that is the best. Now I'm gonna just aim to be that. I can't do that.
Correct.
I'm gonna aim to be me, and that me is gonna be the best. And if that is better than that person, then okay, you know. But I'm not gonna
Correct.
constantly be looking at every other person and seeing where they are, what they're doing, what have they accomplished, because it doesn't matter, man. It doesn't really matter. We often do that, but it doesn't matter. So overworking is
Right.
good as long as you're in control of it. Otherwise, if it is controlling you, it's not good. Simple as that. If
Right.
anything is controlling you, it's not good. If you're stressed out, stop what you're doing, take a break, so balance it up a little bit. Maybe for 2 weeks, don't work for, let's say, 12 hours, or
Right.
8, or I don't know, 10 hours, or don't work on Saturday, Sunday. Take a break. That's what we do even in fitness, right? When we go really hard into it, we train for 2 hours. You have to
Right.
come back round and give the body the rest, and then again, recuperate, then again come back up slowly. You can't go full force all the time. 365 days you're going to go full force. That's the only year
Yeah,
you're
that's what a burnout is. Yeah, that's what a burnout is, and that's what a burnout is. Yeah.
you got to balance
So
it.
yeah, I mean, in lastly, I mean, like I would see there'll be still working. There'll be people who will be watching this will still be wondering, no, this is not kind of not possible, and I want you to give them a proper 2 to 3 tips. Like you remember, you've told me this, that at least you should have 15 or half an hour or 1 hour to yourself every day. So any kind of that kind of tips you would like to give, like, okay, read a book, go for a run, go for a walk, or anything like that, even better, so that they know that they need this in their life, just for the sake of it, even if they don't want to, but their work life it needs to be there because they need to pay bills. That is perfect, but at the same time they even need to do something for themselves, like something for those tips. I mean, like any you might be having.
Okay, if I was in your position or
Yeah.
anyone else's position, I would,
Right.
number one thing I would tell myself, instead of being like, go and meditate, I would be, man, take up a journal, write down what the hell you really want to do. I understand maybe sometimes your job is not making you happy, but you still have
Right.
bills to be paid. But
Right.
if you're going to live your life just to pay your bills, life is going to be very complicated at the most basic level. You understand?
Right.
So we can pay the bills, but how can we make it fun?
Right.
Okay, by making it fun, I'm seeing how what I mean is, how can you do something that you're passionate about, that you
Right.
actually care about, that you really look forward in doing it.
Right.
So number one tip that I would give myself if I was in those shoes is, write down, have a journal, write down what are your dreams, write down what is it that you're passionate about, that you'd like to pursue outside of what you're doing right now. You can do what you're doing, that's perfectly fine with me. Okay, but you have to work towards yourself, is what I would say myself. Okay,
Mm.
number one thing,
Right.
I would write down my dreams. I'd write down my goals. I'd write down what I want to do apart from this. If this is not satisfying me, is not making me happy, is not making me feel the best way I want to feel about my work. There's a certain way you feel when you work, right? If that's not making me feel that way, and I'm just feeling like a freaking someone who's slogging, someone who's been dragged up by the system and the society, and I want to free myself a bit, okay, then I'll pretty much give in to those thoughts and be like, okay, how can I do something that I'm passionate about and keep the job where it is? But on the side, maybe you can start with 1 hour a week. Most people
Oh, okay.
don't even do that much. Most people are like,
Correct.
if it's going to be, it's going to be 1 hour every day, or I cannot do 1 hour a week. Why you can't do 1 hour a week? Start with 1 hour a week. How does it matter, man? As long as you are passionate about it, those 1 hour a week will change into 10 hours a day. But if you don't start somewhere, it's not going to happen.
Yeah.
You're going to be there in that cycle for the probably as long as you're willing to be. If you're not willing to step out of it, it's just going to take your life.
Right.
So number one tip would be that. Number two
Right.
would be really to take care of your health and fitness.
Okay.
Why I'm saying that, obviously because the channel is about that. The channel is not just about,
No, in general also it should be the same thing. In general also
yeah, because
it should be there. Yeah.
जब आप वर्कआउट करते हैं, आपका जो ब्लॉक्ड माइंड है वो खुलता है. Okay, because the you know all the stress that you have, that you carry, it, man, I can't tell you how many times I've been so blocked in my head, not having the ability to see any sort of light ahead of me. But I switch off everything and I go work out. After my training, I'm seeing light everywhere. I can see all sorts of answers, all sorts of ways to get things done. You know,
Right.
you have to understand. There's also, I think, a scientific study or something of that sort, where every kind of training has an effect on your mind. Okay, so when you do strength training, your body recognizes that, and it sends signals and messages, you know, to the brain, and the mind sends messages to the body that I am strong because you're lifting weights, you know. So
Right.
it reacts to it. So eventually, even when you're getting physically strong, mentally you are actually becoming stronger. Exactly, it was, but it was quite interesting, and I connected to it so much because it was absolutely true. The way training works is so much more than we are perceiving and we are looking at it. When we go to the gym, we only care about how we look in the mirror, but there's so much more internally going on, which is so amazing. You know, how your body is reacting, how your mind, your brain is changing things around you, inside of you, and it's just too good to be true. But most people never pay attention to that. They just go work hard and they get out. So number two, okay, would be to get in some form of physical activity, whatever the heck it is.
Okay.
Whether you're
Alright.
probably, let's say for example, you have a car and you drive a car, instead of parking your car right underneath your building or your home, outside of your home, maybe park it a little bit away and walk towards it. That'll gain some physical activity. Okay, now that's not enough, but that's good enough to begin with. That's good enough to make your mind disciplined to walk a little bit further than it is used to. But that's not enough. I'm not saying if you do that you don't have to work out for the rest. That's no, that's a big no. You will have to eventually work out and do a proper cardio. Maybe you can walk in a park or whatever. But to
Right.
begin with, these are the small things that we can do. If you live on a first floor or a second floor, take the stairs. Who's stopping you? There is an elevator, that's fine, but you can take the stairs. They won't charge you
Right.
more money to live in the building if you want to take the stairs, you know. You're not using
Yeah.
our facility in the proper way. You're not using the lift, so pay us more. No, you're just gonna improve your health. You're just gonna, it's not even about the health. You're gonna improve the mindset. You're gonna discipline yourself. You're gonna be in control of your body, your mind. That's the most aspect that we should be looking into it. How can we be in control of certain things and certain small decisions that we can make, you know?
Right.
So I feel and that could really help a lot of people. That could help me for sure. I'm quite sure. If I can
Right.
keep a journal that I can write my goals and my dreams and my next move, and I can do
Right.
some form of physical exercise or some form of activity that I can create control around my body and my brain. If your brain and your body are in your control, even if the whole world is not in control, the world inside of you is in proper control. Do you understand what
Right.
I'm saying? Now, if you're in control, You can control whatever you want outside of you. The problem is you are failing to control this particular thing, whatever it is. That is the
right,
reason you are not able to control things outside of you. By control, I don't
right,
mean you hit something and you control. No, by control, I mean you come to a place of understanding. That's what I mean
right.
by control. By control doesn't mean you go crazy and you start controlling things around. No, not that kind of control. I'm talking about
Yeah,
having an understanding about things and being in control. If someone,
right,
if someone is overworking, you are in control. You won't
right,
try to copy them. If someone is not working, you will not look and copy them. You are in control. You know what to do for you. You know,
right,
someone is not
right,
working. They are not working because they might have worked so much until now, so they are taking a break. Now you look at them and you don't need a break, but you end up taking a break because you look at them taking a break.
right.
That doesn't make sense. So, and if someone is overworking, maybe they got off and break. They just got
Yeah,
back to their work. So they finished their break and now they got back to their work. So they are overworking because they're happy. They're looking forward to their work. And then you look at them and like, oh, I've got to work. No, but you've been slogging, you've been working. Maybe you need a break. So instead of looking here and there, look directly to you.
right,
Go within, go inside, and have an understanding on what is required at this particular time that you can do, not to just improve this particular time, but eventually the time that is going to
right,
come, because that's what is going to pay off. And if you're going to continue to work in that manner, I feel you will be happy because you look forward to the efforts that you're putting in, you know.
right,
And if I can give you probably one last one as well. So the third one,
right.
um, there are actually a lot of things that I would do.
Give me a tip. Which the last one? What are you saying? Give me a tip which for the people if they don't wanna. I mean, like fitness is. Yeah, I mean it's required for me as well because I've been of fitness for a lot of years now. But give a tip for people who are not kind of right now. They don't want to get into fitness. They can be anything else. Like they don't want to pick up a pay weights and all that. It can be anything else like which can just they can do just by sitting at home. They don't have to go even for a walk, just something like that. It can be anything like that. I mean, what could it be? For their 1 hour of the week time.
Watch this video.
apart from this, apart from this,
Watch other videos.
this would be the this would be the fourth tip. The third tip, yeah, I was still on the third tip.
But um, you have to understand that if we all have only 24 hours in a day. Okay.
Right. Okay.
If you're constantly looking for ways to not get things done, you're not going to get things done. Simple as that.
Right.
But if you're looking for ways to get things done, you will find out a lot of ways even when you don't want to, because you want to get them done. It gets hard sometimes, but it's not impossible.
Right.
Now, what would I do if I don't want to get out of my home, get out of my office, but yet um, have something to do that sort of to reduce the load of overworking? That's what you mean, right? Correct? Because
Yeah, in a ways, I mean, like just in a day or in a week, what you just said, that can be anything. Like what you have already done and what you are or actually doing. A lot of things. Like you yourself also have a habit of reading a book, let's say, but you don't go out that much, and you just want to stay at home and you wanna do something for yourself. All of those tips also can be very helpful
I
for
would,
others who are not actually ready to work out and just go for a walk. They just want to be sit around and they just want to do. I'm not talking about take a Netflix subscription. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about just normal things which they can get into. Peace of mind over here. Peace of mind over here in the mind.
I was going to say, uh, meditate or read a book or
Wonderful. Yeah,
podcast or
wonderful.
something of that sort. But
Right,
if you're gonna work so much, you
right,
deserve a break. You break from everything. So
right.
I think then reading a book becomes a task. You understand?
Oh, okay,
It becomes a
okay.
task. That's why it's not the best thing to do for everyone. Some people love
Correct,
reading books. So
correct,
for them,
right, right,
if you're like, okay, read a book, they're gonna be like, great, this is like a vacation for me. I'm just gonna read from from cover to cover and finish it off today.
right,
But for some people, like, okay, one page over, finish, keep the book aside, and what can I do now? So that's not gonna work for everyone. For me, it's gonna be okay. I'm gonna go to the gym, you know.
yeah,
But for
correct,
some people, are like, no, today is Sunday. I'm not gonna.
right,
I might end up
okay,
watching TV the entire day, but that's not productive.
right,
But
right,
if you're that stressed and that's what you want to do,
right.
you should not come in your way. Simple as that. You should not come in your way.
Okay.
But if that continues and that is, distracting you from getting where you want to be, that needs to stop. Because now, so you see what happens. People switch on the TV, but now they lose their control. The TV is in their control.
Right. Similarly for the Facebook and Instagram and all that, right?
No, if
They're
you
just scrolling,
do that, then again you are number one. I would be happy if you work and the work starts controlling you, because eventually it's going to take you somewhere. But where the hell is TV
right,
take you? It's just going to take your time away.
right,
You know.
correct,
So if you're stressed working out, stop caring and work even more so that you get what you want out of it, and then you can go away. you know so some
right,
there's a quote, if I can remember and say it correctly, if I may. um, I don't remember who said it, but it's a very interesting quote. And it goes like, if you're going through hell, why would you stop? Why would you
right,
stop? Who wants to stop in hell? Go through it, get out of it, and get your place out of there. So
right.
stop when you're in hell, when you feel like things are out of your control and all of that. Why would you stop? Get out of it. So keep going, keep going, keep going. Eventually you're gonna move out of there.
Right.
Yeah?
That's kind of perfect. Yeah. That's kind of
So
perfect.
reading a book might not be for everyone. It's not everyone's cup of
Mm,
tea. I would say maybe take a break from your work is really, 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 really um, productive sometimes. That's when even when we are doing fitness, man, it gets too much at times that we need to stop doing it that much. Maybe we'll gain some weight, and that's completely fine as long as you're in control of it. That's the whole point of it. If you lose control and you start eating unhealthy food, and you start adapting towards unhealthy habits and anger issues and stuff like that, you're being depressed, and a lot of those things that people are often a part of when they begin their fitness journey or before they begin. And if you eventually come to that stage where you're in shape but now you're still feeling the same way, there's no
right.
point of going through the entire journey. It's a waste of life. According to me, it's just you didn't learn anything out of it. You didn't grow out of it. You just went through something, and just you're still the same person, but you just look different. you know so
Right.
that's how I think what should happen. So even when it comes to these things, so again, it comes down to you, man. You need to work on you, better understanding of what's going on. And number one thing would be, write down your dream, write down your
Right.
goals. And even if you have a job, don't forget the end picture, don't forget the prize. Okay, you have to pay the price in order to get the prize, so don't forget that. And if this is the price that you're paying right now, that's what it is. There's no way
Right.
around it. So
Right.
that's and number three would be take a break. Simple as
Right.
Number three would be take a break. Number two would be get in some physical activity so that your mind also moves. It can see new directions. It can see new paths. You know, otherwise
Right.
you're just gonna be a block sitting here, not having a way to get across yourself. Towards this potential of yours. So there's no point living like that. And number three, I already said, take a break,
Right.
complete break,
Mm.
whether it's from your
Detached completely.
when it comes to relationships. If it gets too stressful,
Right.
you don't have to leave the person unless that's the place that you are at. But if it does get that much, if you just take a break, you will see how things will start falling in its place properly.
So for now, I would think that this would be perfect, and this is a proper way of understanding of how should we go. And the tips are pretty much understandable and lovely. So that's it. Thank you, EB, for all the guidance that you're giving us.
It was my
Hope to hope, hope that we keep continuing this, and we'll definitely entertain and guide people more and more towards proper living of life.
That's what I'm here for, and I love doing that. if
Yeah,
if anyone can learn something out of
yeah,
mistakes that we've made, man, like life's fulfill. You start feeling much fulfilled within yourself, and sometimes like we want someone to sort of hold our hand and show us the way. So
right.
if we can be someone's light at the end of the tunnel, that's it's just the best feeling in the world, isn't it? So yeah.
Well, that's correct. That's correct.
Anyways,
That's pretty much.
it was. I'm happy to do this, so I'll pretty much see you in the next one. I hope you guys enjoyed and got something out of it. I always tell, even if you didn't enjoy but got something out of it, that is much better than you just coming in to enjoy the video. Okay, so we're gonna wrap it up over here. Is that cool?
Sure. Yes, pretty much. That's fine.
All done and dusted. I'll see you in the next
Yeah.
one. See you, brother. I'll see you guys in the next
Yes.
one. See you, baby
Yeah.
out.
Bye.